We're live on the outskirts of the capital, Budapest, at a track that's extremely popular with both the fans and our drivers. I'm talking, of course, about the Hungaroring, and we're about to begin the Hungarian Grand Prix. Located 12 miles northeast of the Hungarian capital Budapest, the 14 corners of the Hungaroring are steeped in history and prestige. Overtaking's always been difficult on this technical 2.7-mile track, but the last few years in particular have turned up some exceptional races. So let's hope we're in for another one here today.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Formula 4 Racing. I am your host, Simi Skate. With me, as always, this season is Mr. Fury Strat. How are you there, brother?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Some exciting racing surely to be had ahead. Hopefully, with the new generation of cars, we might see a few more overtakes at this track, which even on the game was a bit of a scarcity.
Well, I mean... yeah, one of them tracks there, Fury. One of them tracks where patience is a virtue. And, well, these boys do know it, of course. And, well, I mean, there ain't many passing opportunities at this magnificent track here. We are at the Hungaroring. The capital city is Budapest. Yes, this magnificent circuit here, Fury, is 4.381 kilometers or 2.722 miles. The capacity is 70,000 people, believe that or not. The maximum speeds around here are about 315 kph or about 195.7 mph. The fastest lap around here ever, folks, is held by Max Verstappen in 2019 in Q3, of course. And he set a 1 minute 14.572. The lap record is held in that same year by Max Verstappen with a 1 minute 17.103. You're at full throttle around here, Fury. 50% of the lap. The longest flat-out section around this circuit is 900 metres between turn 14 and turn 1, of course. The downforce level is high. You're going to use about 1.5 kilos of fuel per lap around here. And for every extra lap of fuel you carry will cost you an extra 0.06 of a second per lap. The 20 seconds will cost you to do a pit stop around here. And, well, there you go. I've got some trivia for a little bit later on, of course, for most wins and all sorts of stuff like that. But there you go, Fury. We are at the Hungaroring. Yes, the boys, we did put a vote in the server after last week, of course, folks. And the boys, now that the way the game is, it's changed quite a fair bit. And we have gone away from full qualifying, of course. We are now doing short qualifying. And as you can see with the countdown clock in the top left-hand corner, 17 minutes, Fury. That's all we're going to get, mate.
Yeah, it's short and sweet is what you call it. It's only a little bit... actually a little bit shorter than what you'd get in a Q1 session, if you can believe it or not. But yeah, the new regulations Formula 1 brought in, unfortunately, did kind of take away from doing the full qualifying, because you can start on whatever tyre you want, no matter whether you're starting first or starting 20th. So, you know, a lot of the guys going, hey, we'd like a bit of a shorter run. Not spread up the rig as much, which is, I stand by that as well. It's generally a pretty sweaty night around Hungary.
Well, I mean, I did...
Monaco without the barriers.
I did contemplate getting the Undertaker music and just paying a bit of homage to the death of the full qualifying there, Fury. But yes, no, we are both advocates. Yes, Junior. Trivia questions a little bit later on there, young fella. But yes, I know you love them, and well, I'm back on the mend. And yes, had the chance to organise a couple, Fury, for some of the viewers out there. I'm going to leave it with you for a sec, Fury. We're tactical. I'm just going to do some sound checks in the background. I'll be with you in a minute, mate.
Alrighty, not a problem. So, tactical rocking the JPS livery. Looking very, very overcast in Budapest. So, we may see some rain a little bit later on in the session, given the fact not every car is out. Probably not super likely, as some of the other guys cut to make for themselves a gap as we kick off the short qualifying session. Run all the way down the hill, as Kate said, for the longest time you are full throttle around the lap. Turn in here. Bit of a weird little hairpin, so quite long, quite open as he opens up the DRS down this little short scoot. into turn 3 as you come down the hill. Very important to get that corner right because it'll affect you all the way through turn 5, up the hill towards the kink at 6, the end of the sector, and you come across the curve. Very easy to lose a car there. Track feels a little bit narrower than it has in the past through that section as you come up through that next hairpin. A couple of little curves to watch out for this chicane. It is always very fun when you nail it. As you come through this next little kind of section, it's all about patience and waiting to get on the throttle, making sure the car's planted on the right line. He comes through here, just a brief lift, and had a lift again there to Tactical as he was pushing the limits of the track and want to get an invalidation early on. Comes through the third to last corner as this, again, the second to last corner here at turn 13. It's another one that's quite easy to lose the rear of the car, especially with the inertia that these cars carry. As Tactical rounds the final corner, holds it right up against the guardrail, gets it right over into the exit curve, sets a 16.3 to set us up, and the Marlboro of Chasey Dane in behind. He does an 18.1 to get us underway.
He certainly does, and Milligains has invalidated. These times are going to come in thick and fast for you. As we did say, it is a short quali. So it's your guy, JC, a 16.5. Not too shabby at all. We do welcome back the old footy bender. He is back, and it looks like, I'm not too sure, has he got the right livery on? I don't think he has, but the white dot is there, which is okay, of course. He only got the game late there, Fury. Macedonian has invalidated as well. So this is going to be a hectic qualifying session. We've got a couple of cash rolls. It will be Brad Tay who is next. He's about to set his time of his first run here is a 119.0. His teammate of, who is that? 2.5 on an outlap. Dino on an outlap, and Johnny M4 yet to see just yet. Beansy has invalidated. He'll need to reset. Suicide 5 out there going through turn 14 now, Fury. And, well, this guy had a great Grand Prix last week. Let's just see if he can continue that form. He sets a 16.8. P4 for now.
Yeah, guys, it's going to be a pretty ruthless session. So qualifying, into Q1, Q2, Q3, you'll see the kind of quicker guys go out. They'll send one lap and they'll kind of send it back to the pits. In a short quali, you don't get that. There's probably a little bit more variability from it all. You've got 18 minutes to set your best time. 3 sets of softs that you'll see these guys running as Milligains just absolutely hangs the fastest lap to a 16.2 in the Marlboro liveried car. But these guys, they'll probably look for 3 runs. That does give them 1 set of softs to use for the race. Not that that is an ideal tyre around here.
Macedonian is around at turn 13. Sorry, Fury. He is just getting himself off the racing line. There is a cash roll. Who was that? That would be 2.5. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't even be Dino. It would be Brad Tate going in the pit lane. So no harm, no foul. There is 2.5 there. Yet to set a time. Did have a Grand Prix to forget there, Fury, last week. Very uncharacteristic mistakes, but whack! P1 for 2.5. The Mamba is back. 116.215, not too bad at all. As we'll flick up to Beansy, who did invalidate his last run. Of course, had a stellar return, of course. And, well, started as he left off, Fury, winning the first opening round. And here he comes now, a 17.4. He will need to go again if he wants to improve on his starting position. Dino will need to go again as well. And look at the, well, the lack of action. Here we go. We've got Broken Reptile. Was that Broken Reptile making an appearance? Not too sure. Tabbed out there, and Blue Dog. Well, Blue Dog, of course, was missing last week. He is back, of course. And there he is there. The pot 3, defending champion is the Blue Dog. And, well, there you go. No, Bloomy Boy. We did put another vote, and it is short quali. There's no such thing as a Q3 anymore. It sort of mucks up that stat a little bit. So, well, there you go. There you go, Bloomy Boy. Yeah, that's the way it is. We did put the vote in during the week, of course, and, well, the boys voted to get rid of the full qualifying. Little to no point these days, the way with the game is these days, of course. We are doing short quali, and of course, 50% is tabbed out there on track. He's just trying to get himself underway. Bit of traffic to contend with there, Fury, in the opening stages of his lap.
Well, that's it. That's the risk that everyone decided to run in a short qualifying session, because you've only got 18 minutes to set the best time possible. You've got track evolution to take into account, so you want to be constantly trying to be on the track at the right time. You want to get, some siders in to get your pace up as well. But you have to do it in such a small, condensed period that on a track like this where it's so short, the last time, for a high downforce circuit, we're still only doing a 116, at the moment is the top 6. So
Yeah.
it very easily can run into traffic, and that can hurt your lap time. You've got to, might get stuck behind one if a driver's not paying attention, or you just catch them at the wrong point of the track. So, that's the one thing that maybe some of them didn't account for when they picked the short qualifying session, but it adds another little bit to it, because you then have to work your way through as tab mate
Ouch.
loses it on the exit
And
of
that
the
is
final
the thing.
corner.
That's the thing, though, Fury. That's what we're going to see with the short quali. Of course, you could ease into your session in the full qualifying. Just get through Q1. No harm, no foul. Just get through nice and easy. Come short quali, the pressure level does go through the roof. You've only got 18 minutes to really punch in a good time. And usually you get 3 runs, of course, out of the garage, do a couple of hot laps, come back in, and you can do that 3 times, usually on most tracks, of course. We're currently watching Broken Reptile out there on track. Has impressed since he's come on board here, Fury. And, well, that is Team Marlborough. And, well, that is a cash roll. Not too sure who that was getting out of the way, but much appreciated. We're running with 19. We did have Numbnuts drop out very, very late. Too late to get a reserve in. So there you go. We're running with 19 this round. And here comes Broken Reptiles. It's a 1 minute 17.1 there, Fury. P9 for now.
Yeah, he's definitely, Numbnuts definitely, or Broken Reptile, I should say, going very, very solid, as Bopton actually had a spin on the out the exit of turn 1. It was on the inside of the corner, so I'm guessing the traction just got the better of him there, as now we're starting to see, so, Macedonian, Kiwi, and Johnny for the last few guys who still haven't set a lap time. Tab definitely not competitive with his lap time, and he's got about 8 minutes to go in this session, so he's going to need to put the jets on a little bit in the Samsung and get that thing around the track and, through the pit lane a little bit quicker if he wants to improve, because, we both know the young fella, he's not happy sitting down there in what is now currently P17. He wants to be up the front fighting with 2.5 ML gains. It's the same with Beans as well, who's currently sitting in P10. That's a little bit different field.
Yeah, it's a different field there, Fury. And I reckon, mate, I know from experience, mate, myself, that when it comes, like I said before, with that short quality, it does tend to put the sweat on a little bit more so than a full qualifying, of course. You can get through as I said before, you can get through full qualifying very unscathed, but this is high pressure stakes. Milligains looks like he's about to set another lap here, Fury. Turn 14 is where he's at. DRS wide open. Let's just see if he improves. He does. He's in the 15s, a 15.990. Black from Milligains. Awesome to see this lad back up the top.
Yeah, he's really, kind of gone against his aim, and he's made some massive gains during the off season to improve to get himself towards the pointy end, and a little bit more consistently. 2.5. He went out to try and better his run. He's actually validated those, so won't see a reply from him just yet. We're still waiting on Tabs and Beansy to really kind of get the best out of those 2 cars. At the moment, we've only got, can you believe this session is just absolutely skating through at the moment? It's only 6 minutes and 40 seconds.
It's unbelievable, mate.
Really good, so.
It's unbelievable how quickly she goes. But yes, Tystar with a 117.3 throws himself up into P11. Bob Tooney out there on track wants to do better than a 118.1. I know he's got it in him there, Fury. Let's just see how he goes. The treacherous chicane there in the middle of Sector 2 does catch quite a few out. But Bopton navigating that absolutely perfectly. I think Macedonian's out there as well, but he's on a slow lap, I do believe. So we're going to stay with Bopton. Currently 2.5 tenths up at the end of the first sector. At the end of the second sector, nearly half a second, Fury. So that puts him in the realms of where Beansy is at the moment. So we'll just keep an eye on this, mate.
Yeah, you're right. So Bopton's looking to get his Puma a little bit further up the field, and you've got Beansy. He's also gone back out. He's on a lap currently around middle part of Sector 2. So Bopton comes across the line 17-0, so he jumps right up into the top 10.
Absolutely.
He'll be very, very happy with that. My old Renault teammate, Mr. Footy Bender himself, he's come through, got onto the DRS. He'll be looking to improve his quality spot, and P5 on return. That's a very, very solid start for him. As Rip the Beans, mate, the last week's race winner, he's coming around the final corner at the moment, looking to kind of do something a little bit better than P13 as he comes around and he goes to
P3.
16.250. So a little bit more competitive. But if I know Beansy, he'll still reckon there's a little bit more in that lap.
Well, I think so too, mate. Won't be happy. As we know, he's the championship leader. They are ruthless, aren't they, Fury, in any form? And they don't like the, second and third, still a good result. But they don't like it too much. It's all about P1. And oh no, Macedonia's around again. He keeps losing at the same spot every lap. He just can't get it together, Fury. Oh, that's devastating for the lad. There is a little bit of time left, though, mate. There is a little bit of time left. Get away, yellow flag. Get away. We want to see how much longer is left. Not too sure. There you go. 4.5 minutes. So plenty of time as Crazy Kiwi has, it looks like he's had an excursion. That Puma livery, Fury, is a bit dirty, mate.
He actually did not, and this will be something as Macedonia now picked up a 5-place grid penalty for a collision
with his
Milligate.
teammate.
So,
what are they doing? Oh, dear
bit
me.
of Marlborough explosion down there, but you wouldn't believe it, but Crazy Kiwi and Tab, after coming together last week at the French Grand Prix, have come together in qualifying, and Tab's actually got a 5-place grid penalty hanging over his head as well. So wherever he qualifies, he's going to have to sit 5 more places back as Macedonian, mate. Top of the hill, he's once again, he's got a bit of a Johnny M4 impression on at the moment. He can't get that rear end to stick right where he wants it to get the lap time in.
No, he certainly cannot. And we're currently watching Crazy Kiwi, though, Fury. And let's just see if he can get a lap together. This time is ticking down and ticking down quickly. 3.5 minutes remaining. And, the boys yet to set a time. Johnny M4 in the garage, probably putting on a new set. I dare say we're going to see this track liven up very, very quickly here, Fury, because there is not much time left. And as you do know, mate, Kiwi! Kiwi's just run a touch wide. Whack! Red track map for him, Fury. He's going to need to go again.
Yeah, the stewards in game are about as careful as the stewards in real life at the moment with track limits. They do not care. You use a millimetre too much and they're going invalidated.
Which is fantastic too. I mean, I love it, mate. I absolutely love it. The white line is the white line.
So that'll not bring an end to his qualifying, but it means he's only going to get the one lap out of it. Milligan, he's on track at the moment, so he reckons there's more in that 15.9. You've got who's the lead car on track at the moment? I do believe it is Blue Dog, who's the 10th up coming through the second to last corner at the moment. The JPS car. He's a little bit away from B1, but I'm sure he'll try and find that time just about. There he does. Not quite enough to be right up with B1, as Brad says had ironically a little bit of a spin to wait for his mate. There he goes, right in front of him. And he's actually just been DQ'd.
Oh, he's just been DQ'd. Oh, no, Brad say. And there you go. The game is being very, very harsh these days. Johnny M4 out there as well on an outlap. He's got so much. Look, he's got traffic to contend with. He's got a Samsung in front of him and a JPS in front of him. And, there you go. Milligains does go quicker with a 15.942. Not too bad at all, Fury. And there you go. Chasey Dane out there on track on an outlap as well. So, yes, as we did predict, this track is ramping up, my friend.
Yeah, there's an absolute plethora of cars currently out on the track. Milligains is probably the only one that's probably done and dusted from this session with him doing his time a little bit earlier. It's hard to do 2 laps now, so Tab's got their first car along. He's going to just about have enough time to get a second run. Dino calls it quits in the pit lane. He's up into P9. It's good to see the Castrol cars a little bit further up after their woes in France.
Yes, and they'll be looking to make amends, of course. Did not have, had a Grand Prix to forget their Furies. We did touch on earlier, but I tell you what, 2.5 making amends big time at the moment. Currently P2 with a 1 minute 16.215. Very, very good time indeed, but still 0.3 off Milligains, who has just turned the wick up even more so. Tystar does go quicker with a 17.1. He can go again if he chooses. Chasey Dane out there getting himself underway as well. Johnny M4, whereabouts is he? We haven't got anything to represent him by, of course. Yet to set a time. He's currently in the second sector as we'll move up to Bopton. I think Bopton's coming through turn 14 now here, Fury. Oh, no, it's not going to count, mate. It is well slower. Suicide 5 has made a bit of an excursion, or maybe getting out of the way of a Marlboro in front of him. I'm not too sure who that was, but there's 10 seconds remaining. That is his session done and dusted.
Oh, Tab's gone around. Tab, I think, who was that? Johnny M4, sorry. Johnny M4 went around at the fast right-hander onto that little back stretch. So he's done and dusted. Blue Dog in the pits, he's done. Scotty's done. Kiwi didn't actually set a lap time, so here's no improvement from here. Tactical Genius, though, improves just, but I think it was invalid from him, so not enough to move him up. Tab, he's in the pit lane, mate. He's going to start this race.
Yep.
From the back of the pack. Suicide 5, he's not improving there. Chasey Dane, though, he's just about off it, and there we go. Just improves. Get himself, remains 14th, so at the moment there is a absolute gaggle of cars, and I do believe the Puma Advance is in it, and here we go. 16-0, so he puts himself up onto the front row. You got not broken asphalt, Macedonian, who's he's had some absolute troubles through this session.
And it is this corner. It is this corner, and it's again. It's again. He's around. Jesus. What's he doing out there? He's just struggling. He's hurt his teammate. Broken reptile being stuck there. And there you go. So, well, that is qualifying done. Bopton not going to improve.
Yeah, Bopton collected him. Bopton actually collected Macedonian. So Macedonian was still in the session, and as he's moved off, Bopton's come around and collected the Marlboro cars. So,
well, Fury, that is qualifying done and dusted. And Macedonian in the chat himself, this setup is absolutely putrid, he reckons. And while we're doing this, Fury, just in case, I'm going to get some screenshots, mate. I am going to get some screenshots, just in case, my friend, because...
no, that's fair. I think while you're doing that, Macedonian can probably jump out and grab a rear end off the shelf to attach to his car, because it didn't seem to have one. But Milligains and the Beans on the front row, and
Tab down in 16th
with a 5-place grid
so
penalty.
Those
so
two
they're going to share the black of the grid. Macedonian and Tab, they're going to be side by side, right at the back. So look out for Tab during the race. He could give us some fireworks to come through.
He most certainly could. And well, here we go, mate. Here we go. Let's just see if this works. We've done a little bit of R&D, thanks to Crazy Kiwi in the background. And while Chasey Dane is the host, the formation lap is on. And, mate, Fury, cross everything, mate. Cross everything. Oh, Jesus, look at the weather. It's raining cats and dogs here at the Hungaro Ring. Oh, these poor lads. Have a look at it. Have a look at it, Fury. Oh.
Mate, I think we're in a different country. Like, we've changed locations because it was looking a little bit gloomy before, but man, the cats and dogs have fallen from the sky. Just seen Crofty riding his yacht down the pit lane. It is absolutely insane, and we're going to see a big old blue wall compound attire to start this race on.
Well, I think so.
Well, from qualifying last week, a lot of guys did not enjoy it. Now they're going to have a full fuel load to do it with.
Well, so that's exactly right. That's fun. And a track that some do call it Monaco without the walls. We'll go through this running order, Fury. Milligains, too good. On top of that, on top of the list there. Brilliant stuff from him. Rip the Beans, our championship defender and leader at the moment. There he is there in P2. And the Mamba 2-5 in that Castrol Racing livery. There he is there, of course. Tactical Genius had a great race last week in P4. Scotty, there he is there in P5. Your guy, JC, I tell you what, has this guy impressed? I tell you, he might be looking for a higher pot, quite possibly. He's doing very, very well. Old Footy Bender, the return of the Banana Bender, and nearly lost it. Suicide 5 in P8. I'll tell you what, his heart would have been in his mouth, seeing his teammate get all loosey-goosey there. Dino in P9, that is Castrol Racing. Bopton, Puma F1, there he is there. P10, great showing from him. Ty Star in P11, another great showing from him. the JPS livery. That is Marlboro Broken Reptile. And Blue Dog, well, his first race this season with us. Welcome back, Blue Dog. Chasey Dane, there he is there. Well, there's one paddy. There's the paddy in between one of the buns. And Brad Tay not too far away at all. Johnny M4 in 15th and Crazy Kiwi in 16th. Brad Tay, there he is there in P17. Macedonian just couldn't get it together during qualifying in P18. And the young fella himself tabbed P19.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, apart from the fact that I really hope we don't have to jump in and out of the session like we've had some previous experience with. Mate, this is going to be a very, very interesting race. We've got 4 wet tyres, a difficult track with different traction zones, different loading of the car through different sections, full fuel loads, wet running. Some guys who've done barely any laps on the track, let alone on the game of ride. Like, this could be a very, very interesting start to the GP as Tab has now pulled into position.
Oh, here we go, Fury, we got lights! 4 lights, we've got 5 lights! And we're going! Beatsy's got a jump start! Oh no! Beatsy has jumped the start! Beatsy has jumped the start! And who's that in the background? What is going on there, Fury? Bopton is around! Bopton is around! Suicide 5's around! Oh, dearie me, there's carnage! There's carnage at the start!
Oh, and I've just caught footage of Bopton spinning around, and Tactical Genius is out, and Blue Dog's out. 2 JPS cars.
Oh, dearie me!
Not only gotten to the exit of turn 2, there are cars going every which way, left, right, centre, not going forwards. What a start. I said the wet weather was going to change things up, but, well, I mean, look at Tab. Tab, who started P19 in this race, is now currently up to P7.
He certainly is. He certainly is.
P6, sorry.
I'm just going to double check the recording of the start there, Fury. Give me 1 second, mate. What is going on here?
Well, that was a mental way to start. Had a couple of guys really, really struggling for traction. Beans being the well, he actually completely jumped the start. Did not time for the
There we go. We've got the replay,
all.
and oh, what's happened there? Hang on a sec. I got to. Boom. I got to fix that. I do apologise, folks. Give me 1 second. Wow. We'll get back to that replay, Fury. I just had to adjust it in the screen. And there we go. So there is the start. And, well, there's the jump start. Oh, and I'll tell you what, there was I don't know who that was, but someone flicked left and it looked like Suicide 5. And, well, there he is. And falling towards the back there, Fury. We are under safety car, I do believe. And we're back at live screens now, Fury, as we're going to see a lot of action in this pit lane. As have a look at the action. I'll tell you what, they would be all for front wings there, Fury. Every single one of them. And we've lost Blue Dog and Tactical Genius very early doors. Beansy still does have a drive-through to serve, of course. And, well, he needs to serve that within 3 laps of getting it. Or we just got the full course yellow, so it'll be within 3 laps of it going green. And there he is there. Milligains in the prime spot for this one. Excuse me. 2-5. Wow, what a turnaround from last week. Held position on the grid. And, well, he's looking to make amends. Macedonian! Macedonian's in P4. P4, would you believe that? Let's have a look at the position changes. And up 14 places. Crazy Kiwi up 9. Brad Tay up 7 and Tabbed up 8. So, well, early door carnage, and
now,
that'll do it.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we found a new lobby glitch that wasn't the formation lap because, oh no, there we go, Chasey Danes managed to get himself, okay, my game was just broken for some reason because it was showing a bunch of guys still in the pit lane.
Don't jinx
it. They look like they're stuck there, so.
Well, it does, no, they are moving, but Suicide 5 out on track, on screen. Oh, there you go. Oh, no, Dino. It's on. Oh,
Yeah,
dear me.
I think the game has had so much stuff happen in the last like 25, 30 seconds of this race that it just needs a minute. Just
What the hell?
work out everything that's happening because yeah, something's not making a lot of sense here right now.
We're going to do a new lobby here, I think.
Yeah, because I think Boston and your guy JC, they're about to lose their lap because they are definitely.
This game, I'm telling you.
Still see them in the
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Hey,
your guy
boy! Your guy JC's
he's
gone.
on the way, but
Bopton is still stuck.
All right.
Bopton is still stuck, and
I'm sure his car will appear halfway around the track because I'm just seeing your guy JC teleport from being, coming out in the middle of the pack there under the safety car to be.
Bopton's gone as well.
He's currently. Yep. All right. Cool.
But it says Bopton's out on track. What the hell? I don't know what's happening, but we are under safety car. Where is the safety car? There it is. There. What's going on?
Okay. So Dino and Tasty Dane have just come back into the pit, maybe.
Oh, this game's shit.
And people have been teleported out of. Oh my lord!
What the hell is going on, Fury? I think we might do a new lobby here, mate.
I think that's a good call because I can't tell what's happening in front of me. I'm just.
They won't.
Oh.
Do we do a new lobby or not? I'm not too sure here, mate. I don't think. Yeah, I think we should. Should we?
I'm just having a look, like.
Or is it all good now?
Just trying to see it. Just trying to see if the back kind of cars are kind of stabilizing because it's from.
I think it's
really
okay now.
from first car backwards. Just kind of making sure that they're all tracking around the track. They're all running at full power, which is what they should be, given the fact they're so far off the safety car. Doesn't mean we're probably going to get an extra couple of laps here, but seems okay at the moment. Dino just had an off, but I would assume that was more driver error than the lobby being playing some funny tricks.
Well, Fury, you know what? Let's not admire the rubbish that is Codemasters. Let's get into some trivia questions. For everyone who's out there, we've got some trivia questions. I tell you what, at this track, who has the most wins as a driver? That one's pretty easy. Pretty easy. Fury, you cannot answer. You cannot answer, Fury.
No.
We'll have to. We're going to leave it for the viewers, of course. Well,
Dang.
But yeah. Well, I'm gonna just wait and see. Just wait and see.
Time to make a fake Twitch account.
You can do whatever you like, mate. There you go. And well, I'll give you another question as well. The most constructors wins at this circuit as well, and might throw a couple of the young fellas off there, Fury. Not too sure, mate. Not too sure, but yeah, looking for the most wins here as a driver and most wins here as a constructor, of course. And oh yeah, get your answers in the Twitch chat. And well, no Google. And Junior Junior loves a good old quiz. I wonder if he's still there because well, he does. He did mention it to me off stream. He misses the quiz, and well, there you go. So we'll get your answers in, folks.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, there was for anyone who, well, Dino was having a time. His Castrol car from France has reared its ugly head because he's just had another spin. Still kind of tracing around safety car. Chasey Dane's been in and out of the pit lane once again, but
well, it's going to hurt him because the safety car is in this lap, and they're not quite at the back there. Bopton's going to have to get a move on. He might get lucky and just tap onto the back of it as they get going. We're going to keep an eye on this because we're going to go back up to the top because Milligane's currently in P2. And, well, rip the beans. Let's not forget, Fury, he still needs to serve that drive-through. And that is going to hurt him big time.
Yeah, that drive-through is going to send him back. This, the kind of carnage at the start, without the safety car, probably helps him out a little bit. Just spaces out the pack, might give him enough time to really open up the gap as he's just trying to time it right.
He's going to serve his penalty now.
Flag.
He's going to serve his penalty
now. He just needs it to come out, so that gets him out of the way, and that leaves Milligane's out the front. He's absolutely bolted away from 2-5. He's absolutely nailed what was happening at the restart as Beans' drive-through Oh no, it's not served the drive-through, mate. It's actually made a stop. So he actually come in slightly too early, so it's still under yellow. So he's still going to have that drive-through hanging over his head.
He
so
certainly is. He certainly is. And ouch, ouch, ouch. Of course, being the lead car, it doesn't go green until you cross that line. And, well, there you go, Fury. There you go. Maybe a bit of an error from Beansy's part. But we'll just push on because Crazy Kiwi is having a look here at Broken Reptile. And, well, damned if you do, damned if you don't. And nowhere to pass through here at the moment, Fury.
Yeah, it's a one-line track, and he's gonna have to keep his wits about him. The conditions are a little bit, they're not great, and they're not ideal to be driving around in. I'm glad I'm in the commentary box tonight with how the track is, but you need to keep the car out of the wall, keep the car in a straight line. If it means that you have to sit behind a guy who may not be as quick as you, that's the best option you've got, because you need to make sure that you get the car around the lap. Somebody might make a mistake, later on, and you need to be there to capitalise. And as we're seeing from our championship leader, that jump start, and then obviously the fact that it hit him instead of serving the drive-through, it's going to hurt him, because he's going to be well out of sync with everyone. He's going to need another safety car to be back in the race.
Exactly right. We just seen Crazy Kiwi get by Broken Reptile. Now Scotty is all over him like a rash. Milligan sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix with a 1 minute 35.377. And Blue Dogs left us. Oh, no, that's right. He was out early doors. And there you go. Unfortunate from the Blue Dog. We'll see him next week, of course. Tabbed making grounds and up into P8 at the moment. Well and truly out of position there, Fury. But let's not forget Macedonian up to P3 from dead last on the grid. What a start to the race that lad has had.
He's had an absolutely blinder. There's yellow flag set to 1, 2, and 3.
What's going on here?
BSC maybe for damage?
But
that's what I'm thinking.
all the dots are moving, and what the hell is going on?
Yeah, so VSC for damage. So it's something that has been deployed in real life. So guessing the a little bit too much damage on the track that hadn't been cleared up yet, and FIA deciding that a VSC is required to rectify that, possibly from Dino's car, as Dino has just come back into the pit lane. So he'll unfortunately be, he's not going to be overly thrilled. It's his third journey to the pit lane, I do believe.
And he's pit and quit. Yeah,
was let you take the manifold on that one, but Milligan, he's doing a nice job out in front, and 2-5, he's gapped Macedonian a little bit, and that's what you want in these types of conditions. There's a little bit of space to that car in front, just so that way you can see the track ahead of you. The wet tyres throwing up 90 litres of water per second. Make it a little bit difficult to see as we now are back on the green. Can you believe it's lap 6 and we're about to start lap 7 and we've only done maybe one green flag lap?
Yeah, well, I mean, come on, lads. I mean, it is tricky conditions out there, to say the least, and very understandable, of course, but well, these lads are better than that. Dino pitting and quitting. Very unusual there, happening at the end of lap 6. So we'll have to get on top of that one there, Fury. Your guy, JC, in P12, looking at TieStar, and well, did come a cropper there from that early doors, what would you call it, a kerfuffle there at the start there, Fury, and he finds himself down in 12th place. We'll flick back up to the top because it looks like Scotty has been shaping up Broken Reptile for the last couple of laps. Broken Reptile, he's right on the edge. Scotty's got so much speed. He's got so much speed to Scotty, but he's got nowhere to make the move. Absolutely nowhere. He has to bide his time, and it being wet, I tell you what, Fury, you can't go too much later on the brakes or you're not going to stop.
That's exactly right. And he's got to be careful here because he doesn't want to get too far off the line to try and make this move because, unfortunately, if he does, Tab's going to be straight on him like a rash and he'll be dead down his inside. Tab's really trying to make hay while the sun's shining. Well, I mean, not really can say that because it's the sun ain't shining
the
here.
sun ain't shining, man.
He's trying to move his way up the grid, and if Scotty makes a mistake, we both know Scotty will defend that position very hard from Tab to help maybe Beans have less damage taken out of his lead from Tab from behind. But he's going to need to make a move as soon as he can, but you've got to take advantage of a mistake in these types of conditions at this type of track rather than you know, try and force a move, because you force a move and there's either contact or carnage.
I'll tell you what though, Fury, I don't know if you noticed that. Milliganes just went whack with the fastest lap. Fury, 2.5 straight afterwards went whack. No, you don't, son. And I'll have that fastest lap back. So, well, there you go. The front two trading blows at the front there. And 2.5 hanging within that 1.1, 1.2 seconds. And there is Beansy firing up again. And down there in 16th after finally serving that drive through there, Fury. And that has hurt him big time, mate.
Yeah, big struggle for him tonight, but, you know, he's stuck with it. He's about, you know, I'll have a quick little gander. So where is he? He's about 30 seconds off the lead at the moment. So, you know, continuing to set fastest laps might bring him back into this race. He's got the freshest tyres on of everyone. So if we do have these, you know, heavy, wet conditions the whole race, if he wants to maybe take a risk, with the position he's in at the moment, he might try and extend that tyre, run it all the way through the end, as Tactical has decided he's not going to watch from the rain-soaked sidelines.
That's right, yeah, that's right. Well, he's lost his teammate, he's lost himself, and Tystar, the only one on the grid for JPS. Of course, Numbnuts could not make it. Something came up, he did message me, he did let me know, but it was way too late to get a reserve in, as I did touch on before. But here comes Scotty here, Fury, all over Broken Reptile. He's stepping out of the spring. He's going to send it here, mate. He's absolutely going to send it later on the brakes. Broken Reptile takes his line. Scotty just tucks right in, and job done. Look at that. Great move from Scotty.
And watch Tabbed here as he comes down the hill. Tabbed will be Tabbed ever the opportunist, the young fella. He'll be having a look here, trying to see if he can make a move, and unfortunately nothing doing for him there. Milligane's just stepped on the throttle a little bit the last lap. Scotty, big little moment there coming down the hill. Tabbed's going to have a look coming up the hill, though. That's a very audacious move, and he gets
what
Kiwi.
Happened there?
He's let Scotty by as, I think Kiwi's let Scotty by as a little bit of Puma team orders to help make sure Scotty wasn't being held up. But then what happened was he's lost so much pace as Tabbed's sending a move on Broken Reptile. He managed to clean up Kiwi, and then
Broken Reptile just
also
got through
ended up jumping Kiwi as well.
So that's just cost him a couple of positions there, Fury, from trying to do the right thing by his teammate. I dare say he did that at the wrong part of the track if he was trying to let him through, unless it was an uncharacteristic mistake from the Kiwi man. Brad Tay making some ground too, up in a 9th position. Johnny M4 does have your guy JC to contend with. They are side by side, and no, JC tucks in. Lives to fight another day. There is no DRS in the rain-soaked Hungaro Ring, Fury. As you know that, I'm sure all the viewers know that. But there you go, Fury. JC biding his time. The gaps have stabilised. And look at Milliganes. Milliganes just stretching his legs up the front.
Yeah, he's just really shown us what he didn't get to do last week. He showed he had really solid pace for France. Unfortunately, it's been put him a little bit further back in the field. He ended up coming all the way back through very well towards the end of this race. So he'll be looking to rectify those. He has a little bit of moment, a little bit of a commentator's curse thrown straight back onto him. But he at the moment, he's just improving his lap time very, very consistently, whereas 2.5's sitting about the same lap time that he set when he replied with that fastest lap. So 2.5's not finding the extra time in the track that someone like Beans, who's right at the back of the pack, who's been setting pretty much non-stop fastest laps, as there's a cash roll around. It's Johnny M4, and mate, with one cash roll already
out. And he's facing the wrong way. He want to flick that around pretty quickly. It's a bad spot. It's a bad spot.
Coming up here now. There we go. So you've got one's gone around. He's now gone to the back of the pack. One already out. 2.5 a little bit better is old footy vendor, the Renault man from back in the day. He's made a move. Macedonian, I think, actually made a mistake there at the fast right-hander. But he allowed Scotty to get past as well, and Macedonian slots just ahead of Tab. So it'll infuriate Tab as Macedonian. He was right on the concrete at the second to last corner, and Tab sees an opportunity, and that's contact. And Tab is half spun, and he's... that was very interesting. I think that might have been a little reset to track there, but your guy JC, let's Tab go back past.
Well, I'm hang on. I will drop a couple of spots in with the feel so spread out.
Yeah, exactly right. I don't know what happened there, Fury. Your audio just went all funny. But Tab putting in his nose where it wasn't wanted. And, well, I did. Where were you, Junior? I did put out the questions. We're looking for the most drivers, the drivers who have won the most here at this track, and the most constructors who have won at this track. The constructor who has won the most at this track. Hello, Walker. How are you, mate? Good to see you. Still makes me smile and laugh every bloody time. Your guy, JC, well, he's dropped a little bit off Footy Bender. And Footy Bender, I tell you what, from a guy that's barely, he just got the game, he's fired right back up. And, well, up into P3 at the moment. JC still all over Tab. I'm not too sure if Tab has damage or not, but seems to be struggling at this mid part of the Grand Prix. As we'll flick down towards the back, because Chasey Dane is all over Suicide 5, who did, early doors have, there was a bit of a kerfuffle there into turn 1, and did need a nose change. Quite a few of them did, of course, in tricky conditions, folks, as your guy JC and Tab still do battle. This teammate battle. Tab's just struggling at the moment. He's not really pulling away from JC, but they are kind of closing in on Brad Tay, who can see Crazy Kiwi just ahead of him. Scotty and Old Footy Bender. Old Footy Bender doing a stunning job managing to keep that Samsung ahead of that Puma. And Milligan's stretching his leg at the front there. And, well, there you go. Yes, Junior, it is Lewis. And, well, the second, there was 2 questions there, mate. There is 2 questions there. Looking for the most constructors wins as well, mate.
Alright, so I should be back now, hopefully.
Yes, you're back.
Can you hear me? Yay! Alright, don't know what happened there, that was really fun. But anyway, we move on. But your guy JC, I did watch it down the main straight, a little bit, probably a little bit better organised than what the Pumas were before. Tab actually let your guy JC go by, so whether maybe Tab's struggling a little bit in these conditions, maybe tie temps a little bit too high, you wouldn't think that's too much of an issue in these conditions with it being so cold and wet. So
maybe the young fella made that.
A bit of damage as well, though. So.
Maybe, he didn't have a wet setup. Mate, that could be something to do with it, Fury. I'm not too sure, mate. He should be rapid in a straight line, though, if that's the case. He just can't get the power down through the corners. He's absolutely struggling. And look at JC. Absolutely gap him, mate. Absolutely gap him. He's caught right onto the back of Brad Tay, and Brad Tay could be a sitting ducky. JC's got some phenomenal speed. Look at him close in.
Yeah, he's just had a couple of snaps, and Tab, mate, he's gone around again, so Tab's night from hell, I would have to say, he continues on. So he's jumping into the pits now, but hey, he's struggling at the moment. His tyres, he couldn't even get the power down just coming into the pit lane. And well, Beans, he's moved past Suicide 5. He's seeing some other cars for the first time in what'll feel like forever for him. So he'll be quite happy with that, with the progress he's made. But hey, Milligan's out up front. He's having it a little bit all his own way at the moment.
He certainly is, but let's not count Rip the Beans out. I mean, he's caught right up to the pack. And all it's going to take is a bit of a track neutraliser, meaning that safety car. And he's right there and thereabouts again there, Fury. So, what's going on there? Brad Tay getting it all wrong. JC goes by. Up into P8. Not too sure what is happening. And,
JC got it wrong because he actually had to take the short route through the chicane, so he had to redress the position. And, well, a little bit of noting here, mate. Tab's gone for intermediate.
It's taking a chance. That's taking it. Look at the sky, though, Fury. Look at it. There's no way that's the young fella taking a chance. That is him taking an unnecessary risk, I reckon, mate. I could be wrong, but, mate, it looks like it hasn't let up at all. And, well, he's chancing his arm here, mate. Could be a great call. Could be the biggest mistake of a call ever. But we'll just see how the young fella gets on, of course. Broken Reptile is caught right up the back of Macedonian. He's starting to, Macedonian started to stabilise again. He had that bit of a spell, probably 5 laps or so ago, Fury, where he was P3 and he just dropped a little bit, lost his concentration. Now he's found his mojo back. He's still holding that P5 with his teammate behind him. And Crazy Kiwi a little bit further far back again. So, well, Chasey Dane all over Bopton. And look who's happening. What's happening behind him? Rip the beans. He's trying to make a move. And, well, he's just got to be careful, of course. Very, very tricky conditions here, Fury.
Yeah, Johnny M4, he's the Castrol car had another spin. Nothing new there. I'm actually just keeping an eye on the gap between.
Whoa! Bopton's out!
Bopton.
Bopton's out! Bopton's out! Bopton's out! That's going to be a safety car. That is a safety car.
Oh, Bert Mylander's come back with a bit of a vengeance. So, well, it's going to be interesting to see now because just after the tyres seemed to heat up on Tab's car, those intermediates seemed to be working a little bit for him. He was gaining quite a bit back onto the back of the car there in front of Suicide 5. So be interesting to see what the guys out front do. Milligane's just stayed out 2-5. He's staying out. All these guys, at the front of the field, they're not going to risk anything. But as you said, mate, it's an unnecessary risk 2 races into the championship. If you're trying to win the championship, then yeah, sure, go for a different tyre and see if it works. But 2 races on, it's very early to make a call that different to everyone else on the grid.
Yeah, I mean, Droftes is saying that he took 2 seconds off S5 in 1.5 laps. Yeah, but I think S5's running with a bit of a front wing thing at the moment. I'm not too sure there, mate. But yeah, I don't know. He's flogging down. It hasn't changed. And we'll just see. We'll just see how it pans out.
Chasey Banks has been disqualified for blocking the pit lane. And I can see his car. It's beached. He's beached the Marlboro right on the curbing in front of the pit wall. So unfortunately for him, that's day done for the Marlboro driver.
I'll tell you what, he wouldn't be happy with that. But that is the price you pay. These lower cars, of course, very easy to get beached. And, well, Chasey Dane, how did he get beached at the pit lane? How did he get beached there? Not too sure, mate. Was not too sure. Did not catch a glimpse of it myself. But there you go. Johnny M4, well, dead at last, trying to tap on the back of this one. But we are under safety car, folks. Treacherous conditions here at Hungary Ring. And, well, there you go. There you go.
Oh, look at Benzi. He's now back up into P6 with a couple of guys making stops, and he decided to stay out. That the wet tyre, you don't really gain much from a fresh wet compared to an older wet. It's more for a new compound, which, of note, 2 Samsung drivers are now on the intermediates with your guy JC also now boxing for the intermediate tyre. So, I mean, there's a dry enough line, but the moment you step off that line, it is very, very wet.
Yeah, it's very wet, very wet.
It's a big risk for those 2 guys. Like, it's round 2. Like, I know we've got a shortened season here, but we're in round 2.
And we've got a new follower. We've got a new follower, Eggis. How are you, my friend? Eggis. Follower number 312 there, Fury. And, well, you are watching Formula 4 Racing, the Aussie division. And the boys have got some treacherous conditions here at the Hungary Ring. And, well, yeah, you can catch the UK stream a little bit later on. They kick off 8 p.m. BST. But, yes, welcome. And Droftes saying, new name for Chasey. Chasey blocking the pit lane.
Chasey Beach, I think, is the one he's looking for.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see here because your guy JC and Tab, if they're on the right tyre, they are going to absolutely maul through the cars in front of them. You've got Footy Bender and Scotty who are going to have the best tyres of everyone, or lead. They're the lead cars on the best tyres because they're on brand new wet tyres. The 3 guys in front are all on 15-lap-old wet tyres. You've got 11-lap-old wet tyres on Beansy's car in P6 who he's had a pit stop that he did by accident because he was actually trying to serve his drive-through. Served the drive-through, was 20-odd seconds off the back of the pack and has now found himself right behind one of his Puma brethren. But, mate, people were saying, oh, you don't get the same excitement in a short quali second. Well, we proved that wrong, and the race is not disappointed either.
Exactly right, and well, Chasey just given us an explanation. He turned into the pit lanes. Delta went up by 6 seconds, so he slowed down and it DQ'd him. Yeah, well, just go into the pit lane there, Chasey. Just get in there and don't worry about it, mate. Yeah, the game is a beauty, isn't it? The game is a beauty. But yes, still under safety car conditions. Eggus asking if he can join. Where are you from there, Eggus? And, well, I mean, you can message the PlayStation account, Racing Formula 4, so the word racing and 4MULA4. And one of us will get back to you, my friend.
More than likely, but we'll have a bit of a look at the movers and shakers, shall we? While we've got a bit of a break. So Kiwi up 13 positions after not being able to get a lap in during qualifying. He finds himself in P3. Macedonian up 11 places at the moment. Done quite well for himself off the back of the grid after that 5-place grid penalty. The biggest loser at the moment, which apart from obviously cars that have crashed out, is actually Suicide 5. He's only down 5 places. That kind of tells you the guys that crashed out this evening have all been towards the pointy end after the dry qualifying session. So makes things rather interesting. Johnny M4 would be happy. He wasn't, I think he was close to losing his lap. The safety car helps him out, puts him right on the back of the
Well, that's exactly right. And when we go green, he will be right there and thereabouts. It's just what he's been looking for. Bit of luck come his way this Grand Prix. He's got plenty of time. He's absolutely sending it, is the lad. There's plenty of time, Johnny. You will make it, mate. You will make it. And I dare say, Fury, the safety car will be in this lap.
I would have to think so. And there is confirmation of the race director going, yep, no more incident on the track. So Milliganes is the new safety car. The Marlborough safety car is now in charge of the field. He's probably going to look to do something a little bit similar to the last restart he had. Obviously, Beans was the leader at that point in time, but he got a very nice restart, managed to gap away from 2-5. It got to put a bit of a dampener on Milliganes because he was out to about a 6-7 second lead at the time. So will he get the jump again? He looks like it. There he goes. He's just about gone. 2-5 gets it. Well, he got the jump, but then
fighting, aren't they?
Butchered the final corner. So
they're fighting around that last turn to get the traction down, and Millie has gone, absolutely gone. And have a look at these Pumas, P3, 5 and 6. Beasley's under pressure from Macedonian. Macedonian has to tuck in, nowhere to pass there. He's going to go the under. Oh, is he going to send it? Messo side by side. What a move from the Messo. Up into P6. Beasley down into P7. What a move.
That is very impressive on a wet track to do a cutback. That is very nicely done from Macedonian. Crazy Kiwi. He's actually moved himself up. There was a car going off the track at some point. It was a Samsung and it's footy bender. So after the race that he's had, he returned finally to jump up. The intermediates aren't working though because JC he's gone backwards. All 4 Samsungs are now
they are not working.
They're now in a line at 11th to 14th. But mate. That's one way to go. Suicide 5 gets past Tabs.
Yeah,
Scotty
they are not working at all.
There's more issues. 2-5's had some problems because he's now dropped even more places. He's now sitting just in front of Rip the Beans, Macedonian. Now up to P4, so that fresh set of wet tyres for him working quite well.
Absolutely, it's doing him wonders. And, well, he just needs a fresh set, and he's good to go as the Masso man. He's going to chase down Scotty, and, well, Scotty and Kiwi doing a stellar job. We did miss on screen, but 2-5 has dropped down from P2 to P5, and not too sure what's happened there, Fury. But Beansy looking to pounce. It's all about the traction out of this last corner. Look at him ever so tentatively put the power down, and away they go, of course. Gaps are stabilising. Johnny M4 is really catching TieStar, and I wonder if he's going to make a move here into turn 1. He has a bit of a look, but no, thinks better of it there, Fury. Thinks well better of it, as Beansy is still behind 2-5, and Tabbed and JC, bit of a swap and swap again, and Tabbed up into P12. These inters are not working. You are spot on there, Fury. They are not working. They are, wow, look at that. 1.2 seconds off Suicide 5, who only just passed them not even half a lap ago. And I tell you what, treacherous conditions. Johnny M4 is all over TieStar as well here, my friend. And Macedonian has come alive. He's on the hunt, and Kiwi is next on his list.
Yeah, well, it was a little bit Team Waters once again. The Pin Boys working a little bit nuisance. Crazy Kiwi realising he's probably going to be slower than Scotty at this point of the race. Let Scotty go.
Oh!
And Scotty on that pressure set of wet tires, he's just hanging on. There's a little bit of, just going back to that.
Macedonian just made a mistake, and then 2-5 pounced and said, I'm taking that one back. Thank you very much there, Masso. And Masso has dropped from 4th to 5th. He's having a great Grand Prix there, though, Fury, and very impressive to say the least, mate.
Well, I mean, look, he's started at the back, said he could not get the car. The setup was absolutely well, it comes out of a dog's rear end, was his exact. Putrid was the word. So Scotty sets the fastest lap of the race. Beans is now all over the back of Macedonian. 2-5, he's now in the pit lane. So whether there's a front wing going on with this as well, or maybe it's just the tyres fallen off the cliff, he is boxed. But mate, I'm seeing a green wall tyre, and that tyre's just not the one to go on. So
he's put the Inter. He's put the Inter, Fury.
He's done that. Maybe he was struck. Maybe his tyres were a little bit too high pressured. That's what you want in these conditions, and maybe they were overheating, which it can sometimes give the illusion that the track is ready for the intermediate tyre when your tyres are overheating, but it's not ready. You've seen Tab, your guy JC already trying to get that intermediate fired up, but it's just not going anywhere. Maybe another 5 to 10 laps, you might see it fire up, but at this point, you're losing too much time to guys who aren't on the intermediate to really make any inroads. So 2-5 after sell a night, maybe the wrong strategy call.
Well, quite possibly. It might just take a few laps for them to fire up, because Taft is all over. Oh, Suicide Five's made a mistake, and then he's gone, team orders. And who is that in the background? Who is that? Who just spun? Is that Johnny M4? He's around again. He's around again, and Suicide 5 up in a 10th. And Tab, look at Tab stretch his legs. So quite possibly, Fury, it might just take a few laps for these Inters to really turn on. And then look at him make end grounds. We're going to keep an eye on that. At the moment, 4.8 seconds to TyStar. And TyStar on a full wet. So we'll just keep an eye on those deltas, those gaps there, Fury. As Rip the Beans and Crazy Kiwi. Look at this. We're going to see team orders. Kiwi being the ultimate team man and letting his quicker pot drivers go through. Love that from you, Kiwi. Good stuff, mate. But look at the Pumas. P2, P3, P4. And look at the Mulbros. P1, Macedonian. Miller Gaines has done it all on his own. Had the most lonesome races, the lad. And it's great to see his form return back to where we know it should be, Fury. Right up the very pointy end.
That's exactly right. He's been on a bit of a man on a mission. I've been in fairly close contact with Miller Gaines. He really wanted to kind of rectify the errors of last season. I'm just kind of keeping an eye of everything that's playing out at the moment. So through the first sector, tabbed to Miller Gaines so P1 is on 20 lap old wets as well, so it's not on a fresh set of wets. He lost the best part of 0.5 of a second through one sector compared, so that's an intermediate to the wet tyre compound. That's Miller Gaines to Tab. So
well, at the moment it's 18.5 seconds from Tab to Miller Gaines. So if Miller Gaines was to stop and put the Inters on, he would effectively be behind Tab when he came out.
He would be, but well, if you're Miller Gaines, the way it's going, the way the track is at the moment, you're just going to gain. You're just going to stay out forever, because the biggest issue he's got. So Beans is going to struggle to the end of this race. So as Miller Gaines is just on 32.7, and Scotty responds very, very quickly. Beans is going to struggle with his tyre to get him to the end. I don't know if he can get 35 laps out of the wet tyre.
Wow.
And that's going to be the big question that Miller Gaines is asking from it, because if he pits, there are 3 hungry Pumas to take up the podium, and well, even Crazy Kiwi you'd have to put in that pit box as well.
That's exactly right there, Fury, and yeah, you're spot on. Even though technically you do not need to make a tyre choice while you're running the wet or the Inter. Yeah, you're spot on. At this track where the deg is extremely high, and it's all about those tyre temps, isn't it? Even though when the rain is falling, and well, there you go. We're just seeing team orders. Macedonian just letting Broken Reptile go through. And Broken Reptile looks like he's got the grip at this point of the Grand Prix, as old Footy Bender cops a 3-second time penalty for his efforts. And well, Broken Reptile has been unleashed. Let's just see if he can catch Crazy Kiwi. And what is happening to your guy, JC? A bit of an error from the lad. And yeah, he's back down into P12. Very tricky conditions here we have had this whole Grand Prix, exactly like this. Puddles all over the track, and the boys trying to find that drying line, which is extremely difficult in scenarios like this. Macedonian, great Grand Prix from him so far. We'll just go to those positions gained, and there you go. He's up 12. Same with Kiwi, up 12, and Tabbed up 11. So they're the biggest gainers and the biggest losers, tied at the moment between 2-5 and Old Footy Bender.
As my game's crashed, mate, so you'll have to take the reins.
How good is it? No problem there, Fury. And just yell out if you need anything, my friend, and we'll sort you out. But yes, Broken Reptile, he's crazy Kiwi. Dropped a little bit far back, and Broken Reptile, I think he senses an opportunity here where he can make that move on Crazy Kiwi. Kiwi's gone a touch deep, and there's allowed Broken Reptile to creep right in. Look at that now, 0.4 of a second. And, well, there you go. Very hard to burn the battery around here, so it's kind of irrelevant giving you the battery levels because, yeah, you just cannot cook it on a wet track. This is the closest battle on track. We're staying with this one. This is the Marlboro versus the Puma as Fury has joined. Fury has joined. And I'm sure he'll get some visuals very, very soon. But Broken Reptile all over Kiwi. I'll tell you what, he'd be sweating under that helmet even though it's flogging down rain. And, well, Broken Reptile, look at him pounce. He's just lining him up. He's checking to see where he's weaker on the track. And he's going to make a move in a lap or two here, Fury. This is fantastic stuff.
Mate, we're just Broken Reptile eyeing up here. There we go. So now that I've got my bearings back again, I'm back in the session. This game is really, really good.
Yes,
but
yes.
Broken Reptile, the fresh wets are just starting to pay off. So maybe maybe those wet tyres hitting the cliff at the moment, and the issue is once you hit the cliff, not too far from the tyres going yeet and jumping off it. So that's when all the pace will kind of fly out. You'll kind of see them become more of a slick wet is what we'll call it, because a little bit like what we had in Turkey a couple of years ago with the slicked intermediate, when it was actually better to be on an intermediate that was completely eroded away in the middle because of the way the track is. Because I've been keeping an eye on the way the track looks at the moment. The track is definitely improving, but it's not improving enough for a full inter. But it's not, it's not saying a new wet would be justifiable either. So it's just kind of in a weird little point, and I think that's why Kiwi and Milligains, because they're the only two guys that now have not stopped. And maybe just trying to see, the track's starting to, improve the dry lines there. Milligains has a little bit of a tail snap there. It's going to cost him a little bit more time. Scotty is absolutely sniffing blood in the water here. But, the older wets, they're going to hang on for quite some time. So you've still got 12 laps to go, mate. So it's all to play for, and it's going to be interesting on where the chips kind of fall at the end.
Exactly right. I'm just putting the driver of the day in the chat there, Fury. So just bear with us, mate. But yeah, I've got one more to put in, and just give us 1 second, mate.
No, you're right, mate. So Broken Reptile, once again, he's still having a look at Kiwis. Scotty sets the fastest lap of the race. Once again, a Castrol car around, and it is Johnny and Paul. Once again, I'd like to, the Castrol cars they've found more excursions off the track than keeping the car on it thus far. So Tabs fought his way back, but he's the lead car on the intermediate tyre, and he's just losing time at the moment. He's 23, nearly enough to 23 and a half seconds off the back of Milligains. But his biggest concern at the moment is not where Tabs is, not where Beans is. It's actually Scotty who's coming up at him. 14 lap pressure tyres on the Puma of Scotty's car as Johnny M4 hits the pit lane. So it'll be interesting to see what he puts on. Surely it would be, actually no, he probably might be out of wet compound tyres or fresh sets of wet compound tyres. So he may not put on the wet, he might throw on the intermediate, see how everyone's faring on it. No, fresh set of wets to go on. So that's probably looking like the better choice. Your guy JC, he's actually gone back from intermediates to the wet compounded tyres. Milligan's just ekes out that gap, so maybe he's just getting more and more confidence in the track, but he's also just managing those tyres enough at the moment. He's just about to come onto the back of S5, who's he's had a bit of a race to forget.
He certainly has there, Fury, and I've put the driver of the day votes in. You can vote for Macedonian, Crazy Kiwi, Broken Reptile, Milligains, and Brad Tay. They are your votes, folks. Get them in. That will determine our driver of the day there, Fury, as it always does, mate.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's always good to get the fans involved. A bit like real life, they always try to hit up the fans, get them involved, voting on the F1 app, and getting the driver of the day picks in. So S5, he has moved out of the way of our 2 leaders, so he's not going to be affecting them as Rich Beans. He'll actually come up onto the back of S5, and S5 lets him go. Thank you very much, mate, for not impacting any of the cars trying to get by you. The gaps of course just eked a little bit out. Broken Reptile, he's close to Kiwi, but Kiwi's just about keeping that car in the right spots at the moment to keep Reptile behind, which is well, mate, I've been in that situation before. It gets more and more frustrating the longer you sit behind a car, especially if you've got more pace than them. But in conditions like this, you've already seen we've lost 4 or 5 cars this evening already.
Yep.
You don't want to be taking any unnecessary risks or getting involved in a collision because, picking up license points and picking up penalties is not the way to go racing.
Well, that's exactly right there, Fury. And, well, Broken Reptile, he's sort of seesawing between himself. He's got between that 3/10 and that 6/10 of a second, isn't he? And Crazy Kiwi doing a stellar job on 25 lap old wets as we'll flick to, the gap to the leader, and it has blown out. It has blown out. It was 18 seconds, and he's now 25 seconds. The gap from Milligains to Tabbed. And Milligains setting another fastest lap. This guy's on fire. Absolute on fire there, Fury. And doing a stellar job this Grand Prix, mate. Unbelievable.
He's just found another gear at the moment. Those, we've been watching Kiwi. He's been struggling on that, used wet compound. He's really not been able to keep with Beans at all. He's 11 seconds or around 11 seconds behind him at the moment. So he's really been struggling on it. 2.5 at the restart. Now he's on the intermediate tire. Obviously decided to box it after having those people, a bunch of cars kind of overtaking him all at one point. Thought it was maybe because his tyres were dying, and unfortunately for him, did not get that to work.
Johnny falls out. He's out. There he is there on the track map. Just before the end of the 3rd sector, and that is a safety car. Wow. Well. Old Footy Bender is the closest car to him. Let's just see where he comes up to him. Whereabouts is Johnny? Oh, around here. Around the left-hander, and there's the car. There is the car.
You can actually see the track marks.
Wow. Well, there you go. Johnny M4 done and dusted in tricky conditions. There is another one that bites the dust there, Fury. And, it was to be expected with weather like this at this particular track. It's very tough in the dry, let alone the wet. And, the boys are proving that to be.
Well, it's exactly right. A couple of guys really struggled with, it's not just been the treacherous conditions, but it's also been a struggle for setup as Milligains sends the big dummy about whether he comes in the box or not. Scotty has decided that he's going to pit, so it will be interesting to see what tyres he puts on here. Beans stays out, so Beans is, Beans has been on the recovery drive of absolute champions.
Yeah, he
has found himself up into P2 at the moment. That's a fresh set of wets going on Scotty's car. So
where's he going to come out? Where is Scotty going to come out? That is the main thing.
I think he's going to come out P3.
P3. Wow.
He's going to come out P3, because Broken Reptile and Kiwi, they're the next cars coming through, and they're only just coming through. This is huge. 27 lap fresher tyres than the leader. 23 lap fresher tyres than his own teammate in front of him. We've seen Puma already playing the big team game. Tyre Star and Broken Reptile have collided down the straight.
What? What's going on? Where are they? I see them on the track map.
We're on board with 2.5. I can see them on the track map. 2.5's just had to slow down because he was under the Delta time. I'm kind of hoping that he gets going because I'd like to know what's happened here because
there they are. They're in the
distance.
Oh, they've just disappeared.
Oh. Well, that's a thing that happened.
Wow. Okay.
Tab's just come in for a fresh set of intermediate tyres as well for those noting. Macedonian, he's also come in for a fresh set of wet compounded tyres. So
Crazy Kiwi could be a sitting duck here, mate. He was struggling and with those old wets, and he didn't choose to box when they first went by the pit lane. If he chooses to box now, it's going to be bloody close. It's going to be bloody close, isn't it?
definitely going to lose out a little bit to, well, he's got 20,
This
was
is
that
his chance, though.
24 seconds?
I
but,
would stop, mate. I would stop. What's he got to Macedonian? 17.8 seconds. Oh,
He's going to drop behind both of them.
Yeah,
He's probably going to lose out to Tab because those guys
Yeah,
are
you're probably
under
right.
Delta, and Kiwi's close enough to the safety car to do it. Beans, he's just jumped in the pit lane as well. So interesting call from Beansy. So he's removed himself from the scenario of Milligames and Scotty's battle that they're going to have towards the end of this one, which probably hurts Milligames more than he'll realise right at this moment. What's Beans throw on? So Beans has just gone for a fresh set of wet tyres as well. So interesting to see that from the Puma boys, both of them separating themselves, and he's had just about enough gap, so that'll tell us the call right there. So seeing where Beans comes out, yep. So if Kiwi boxed, then he would have been in danger of losing that spot out to Macedonian and Tabs behind. But I still don't think Tabs on the right tyre. I just cannot see that intermediate working. Hats off to him for sticking it out on the intermediates, but I just cannot see that tyre helping him out at all at this point.
Yeah, I don't see it either, mate. And, well, I mean, there you go. Leading the votes. What is going on here? Brad Tay's only up 9 places. And, well, someone is flogging the thingo, and I reckon it might be Blue Dog. Showing a bit of love to his boyfriend. And
B2's getting all the love in for B1, but just to make matters worse for Brad Tay, Brad Tay's actually got a drive-through penalty to go too fast on the safety car. So does your guy Joe Steve. So they're actually going to drop behind old Footy Bender.
There's no way if he's got a drive-through. There's no way he's winning that driver of the day. No way. Have a look.
Yeah, he's only made 2 stops as well. Like, Tab's ahead of him, and he's made 3.
Chance.
Like, come on, like he's gone up and down the pit lane.
Blue.
Some people have gone up
Blue.
All right, but anyways, well, this sets us up. Milligames, Kiwi, the only 2 guys in the grid that have not made a pit stop in this race. Their tyres are going to be crying out for help closer to a interwet. But you can't really see it on the game, but it'll definitely feel like that. For the drivers, Scotty, fresh tyres, he's carrying his dad pace through these conditions, so pressure's now going to be on Milligames. He's finally going to have a challenge in this race. He's had Scotty closing up to him the last few laps, but now he's got him right on the tail tank, and going to make things very, very spicy. Would expect to see the Puma boys working together, so I wouldn't be too surprised if we see Kiwi get out of the way of Beansy right under safety car, and that puts a lot of pressure on Milligames. 2 very quick drivers, fresh set of tyres each, both working together in the same team. That's classic 2v1 situation that we've seen go all the way to the 2s more often than not in real life.
Yeah, exactly right there, mate. Well, I mean, those Pumas doing what they do. Pretty much more of the same, please, is what Xerxes is saying. Dominating the Aussie division, albeit only 1 and a bit rounds in. But they sit 2, 3, and 4, of course, losing Bopton a bit earlier on. And, well, the Samsung boys making amends too. They are all still running P6, 9, 10, and 11. Of course, only 2 Castrolls and 2 Marlboros remaining as well. 7 and 8 for the Castrol boys. And 1 and 5 for the Marlboros. And Macedonian, well, he's got his teammate leading this Grand Prix. And, well, let's just see how this fares as well. We've got 5 laps remaining in Fury. And, well, we'll just see how this one goes, of course. We have got the safety car coming in this lap.
Yes, Milligames, he'll be prepping it up. Scotty,
he's not winning.
Scotty there because
no chance he's winning.
He was all the way over there, but he'll be having a look here. Old Footy Bender, just to add to his troubles tonight after the race, kind of went really, really wrong for him really, really quickly. Another 3-second penalty to add to his night. Milligames trying to get the perfect restart here. He's gone now, but he's not going to drop Scotty, and Scotty, fresh tyres, he's going to be able to find grip pretty much everywhere on the track. He sets it up, and geez, he's got a very nice exit. Milligames is going to defend all the way down the inside. They're right up against the pit wall. You can see the F1 2022 logo scraping across. Crazy Kiwi lets Beans pie, so the team play at Puma helping each other out. He's now got to fight off what's his a putrid setup on the Macedonian car.
Oh.
He's well, he's made it work.
Scotty,
And that's a car.
Scotty's out! Scotty's out!
He's
Scotty's
pitched
out!
it left and he's gone.
Well, that's freed up. Oh, look at this. Oh, here we go. I think Millie's a sitting duck. I think Millie is a sitting duck. 30-lap-old Wets versus Beans. He's very, very fresh Wets. And we're in for a ring-a-ding-ding. Last 4 laps here, Fury. As Macedonian up into P4. Arguably a good shout-out for driver of the day. He has gained so many spots. There you go. Equal tied with 14 with Tabbed. So, well, I think the viewers might have missed a boat there. But there you go. There you go. Here comes Kiwi. Kiwi just doing the wingman thing. He wants to block Macedonian. Macedonian looking for his first podium in a long time here at Formula 4. Tab not too far behind, but these inters are not the way to go. Look at that. Just sliding across the top there, Fury.
Well, mate, he's dropped 2.5 seconds off the back of Macedonian already, and this is, it's a technical track, but it's not exactly the easiest place to drop a lot of time very quickly. And you'd have to say, Tab, with the pace that we've seen from the lad before in the past, he's definitely on the wrong compounded tyre, dropping that much time. Really big shame to Scotty to drop it there, because he looks right on and set to make a move on Milligains, and unfortunately we won't come to fruition. However, we're going to see the battle that, Bean's kind of deprived it from us earlier by getting his own drive-through penalty for jumping the start, but now he's put his car right back in the position, and that's what he wants. But it's one thing to get close, it's another to get past. We've seen Kiwi already hold up a lot of guys already tonight just by placing the car in the right spot. See, lap old tyres, or 31 lap old tyres.
Oh, Macedonian! He's got it all wrong! He got it all wrong! He was on the hunt, the car snapped at turn 4. Very, very lucky to gather that one up. And, well, he's dropped a little bit further back there, Fury. He's going to have to gather his senses. There's 3 laps remaining. There is a little bit of time. But I'll tell you what, Milligain's doing a job up the front.
Yeah, he's just doing the right, putting the car in the right spots. The big thing that Beans needs to focus on here is not getting a penalty, making sure that he's keeping the car well within the track limits and not picking up any unnecessary time to add to his race time. But if he focuses on the exits, he needs to get nice and close here through the second to last corner. There you go. He pulls back a tenth. Like, he's going to find more time in the mid corner, but he needs to be confident on the exit. That's where he needs to gain the time. He's got all the battery in the world, and that's what you're going to see from him the whole time, because it's very easy to get it back in these types of conditions. Milligains, he's defending slipstream. He's kind of, you nearly have to say Milligains at the moment. He's defending clear air, which is not what you want him. It's not what you want to do, which means Milligains is threatened by the car behind. So Beans, he just needs to keep his eyes open and on the gap in front, because if he keeps his head together here, he could make the pass, but he's got to focus on getting a good exit and making it clean.
Exactly right there, Fury. Exactly right. No, but if he's biding his time ever so slightly, or he's just doing a solid job. Is Millie? We'll flick down to JC because he's all over Brad Tay, and fresher wets versus the intermediate, and yeah, there you go. There is proof in itself. The Inter is the wrong tyre. Just a purchase out of the corner, and your guy JC gets that job done. Up into 7th place, 2.5. He's had a bit of a lonesome Grand Prix. Was running up the front there, Fury. And no, very much a tank slapper there as well. And as we speak of the man, he nearly lost the car. And very, very, very tricky conditions. Beansy's dropped off a little bit. Still 0.6 of a second, but I reckon Milligains is doing a job and a half here, mate.
He's just putting the car in the right spots. I was just watching it there, but now, as you can see here, just a little bit offline. Just grabbed a brake a little bit more than he wanted to, and that's just hurt him. And pushes Beans back into the fight, and this is where he wants to be. He wants to be right up under that rear wing of the Marlboro car in front of him, put the Puma in the best spot. It was a very nice run through the mid-corner, but unfortunately, once again, Milligains just gets off the corner. He sets the fastest lap to Beans, and that'll, there's still a little fear. Macedonian's gone around at the last corner, which has allowed Tab to get by, so he's gone up into P4.
Well, that's damage limitations again for Tabs, isn't it?
And Footy Bender's gone around, mate. He's lost it coming down the hill. So Milligains and Beans will actually be the first cars to see the stricken Samsung on the side of the road. But, Milligains just putting the car in the right spots. But Beansy's coming. Those tyres on Milligains' car, he's just really starting to struggle.
He certainly is. 33, 34-lap-old wets and, well, Beansy on 5-lap-old wets. But like I said, Fury, this track is difficult to pass at the best of times. And the boys are finding that out the hard way, of course. Wet conditions, no DRS to help. It's all about your exit speeds, all about your how much better you can put that traction down coming out of the corners, how much you can push the car through mid-corner. And there you go. Every time you just try to go that little bit harder, a bit of a snap, and the car does tend to get away from you. As well, that's what's happening at the front. We're approaching the last lap, Fury. Just a few more corners to go, and we'll be on the last lap. Milligains leads this one from Rip the Beans, who is just looks like he has just turned the wick up. And, well, J-Mart's in the chat. How are you, mate? As, well, Beansy, let's just see how he goes. He'd want to get this one done down into turn one. Otherwise, here, Fury, I'm afraid it might be too late.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. So he tried to set it up, and Milligains, he's been so strong through the final corner, opens it up to 5/10 of a second. Beans is burning absolutely everything. Maybe hoping for maybe a mistake here now from Milligains through turn one. Might be your best bet if you're trying to get it into turn three. You come down the hill, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. So it may just, Milligains just got to keep his head on, and it'll be on track for winning the Marlboro car. Beans has done it, either way we expect Beans. He's been normally up the front of these races more often than not, regardless of result here, as long as he brings the car home.
And Macedonian just got by 2.5 on the full wet. He made that mistake earlier. He's gone deep. He's gone well deep. 2.5's there and thereabouts, but Macedonian with the better traction on the better tyre gets that job done up into 5th place. Great job there from the Masso man.
Yeah, Masso just lost, that mistake at the final corner, the putrid setup, it didn't quite work out for him. So lost it to Tab, who has been on the wrong tyre for the majority of this race. He's actually finding himself right on the back of Kiwi in front. Kiwi possibly just struggling a little bit on that fading wet tyre that we're seeing Milligains lose hand over fist. Coming into the second to last corner, though, Beans, he has a think. Just wants to maybe try and set him up at the final corner. Just got to maximise his exit. He's going to try and do absolutely everything he can, but it's not going to be enough. The Marlboro car, it's led from just about start to finish.
Well done, Milligains. Milligains wins at the Hungaroring. Beansy P2. Crazy Kiwi's going to hold on. Crazy Kiwi's going to hold on. He's going to hold on. P3, Tabs P4. Great drive from him. Bit of a recovery run from Tabs. 2.5 should secure P5. And Macedonian, after all that, must have made another mistake in P6. Your guy JC will finish in P7, who's just purpled the second sector, if we're to believe that bloody track map there, Fury. But here he comes around the last corner now, turn 14. And, well, look at all the boys that did not finish. And there you go. Wow-wee. Tricky track, tricky conditions. Your guy JC, P7. Brad Tay will be P8. And Suicide 5, P9.
Yeah, and JC does take the fastest lap there on the last lap, does a 31.5, so it'd be a much welcome point for the Samsung team who struggled last week, but they got the most cars to the finish line this week. All three of their 4 cars finished the race, which was quite, given the amount of DNFs that we've had tonight, it's quite an achievement to have 3 cars finish, let alone any, because JPS, well, did not see a car from them since, I think it was TriStar was the last one left, with that weird incident down the main straight with broken reptile. But, mate, Hungary threw it all up. We had our first qualifying session. We had a bang-on qualifying session, and then we had a pretty, an interesting race to say the
Well, there
absolute
you go,
least.
Fury. Absolutely. And yes, your guy JC with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix with a 1 minute 31.591. As we'll just let this roll through for our stewards to do their thing. And we'll roll it back down. Then we're going to go on a bit of a pause, folks. We're going to get our drivers in for an interview. Our driver of the day, of course. And yes, we'll be back with you in just a moment. So please bear with us. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, well, the driver of the day does not have a mic, believe it or not. And, well, we awarded that one to Brad Tay, of course. Probably thank his lucky stars, his mates. Speak of the buns, Blue Dog and Brad Tay. B1, B2. And Blue Dog quite comfortably winning the driver of the day. Blue Dog, Brad Tay quite comfortably winning the driver of the day, but does not do him. He's got no headphones. So we're going to move straight through to our third place man. I'll tell you what, folks, it's been ages since I've spoken to me Kiwi, mate. Crazy Kiwi. P3, talk us through it, mate. Well done.
It was good. It was hard at the fucking end, though. The tires were dead. I had a problem at the start because when we first loaded into the lobby, everything got fucking deleted. And I had to fucking literally make the livery again and everything. Do all my settings.
Yeah.
It's a fucking nightmare.
Well, I mean, it's a hard life, isn't it, Kiwi? I mean, it takes all of 2 seconds to make a livery. But talk us through the race because, well, that arguably has to be one of your best races here at Formula 4, mate.
I just stayed out of trouble pretty much and just kept it clean.
Oh, there you go.
Had all right pace in the wet.
Well, I mean, and you did touch on in the server, of course, there, Kiwi. I dare say, mate, am I wrong or am I right when I say that you're practicing on this game? Is that true?
Maybe.
A man of few words. Crazy Kiwi. P3, congratulations on a great drive there, my friend. Well done, buddy. All right, we'll move to our P2 man. And, well, Fury, talk about damage limitations yet again. Although this one didn't quite work out for him as what it did in round 1 where he won the Grand Prix. Still, nevertheless, P2 ripped the beans. Holy moly. What a fight back from you, mate. Well done.
What a bloody nightmare of a race.
Yeah, man.
Started with that jump start and then safety car. Then it didn't let me do my drive-through. Then it did, and then safety car, thankfully. Then Scotty and Kiwi helped me out, get back up to podium positions, and then unfortunate Scotty lost the rear ends, and then just stayed out of trouble from there and got P2.
Yeah, absolutely, and well, a great fight back from you. Nevertheless, Beansy, probably like you did say, count your lucky blessings that a few things did fall your way, but nevertheless, mate, P2 from where you were, great fight back. Well done, mate. Congratulations on another stunning drive from you, man. Well done.
Yeah, cheers, mate. And yeah, one more lap, Millie, and you would have been gone, mate.
All right, so there you go. That is Beansy, everybody. And, well, P2 from him. But I tell you what, this has been brewing for a number of weeks. Well, last week was our first round, but I talk of even the back end of last season there, Fury. This lad was coming. He was coming. You could see his pace starting to come back. It was just the race continuity that he needed. And it looks like he started to sort himself out. I speak of none other than Millie Gaines. Millie Gaines, back up the very pointy end where you belong there, my friend. Another great drive from you, mate. Well done. Congratulations, P1. And that is the monkey off the back, Fury, I do believe. That is his first victory here at Formula 4.
What a stressful win. Tell you what, was it, I could talk about how thankful I am that we won that, but probably would choose a lesser track conditions and maybe a better track as well, but a win's a win. I don't think Beansy had me there. I was sitting PBs on those 35 lap old tyres there, so I reckon I had a little bit more in the tank, and I was just saving it for him to keep him on his toes.
Yeah, exactly right, mate. And, well, I mean, you must be enjoying it, Millie. It's great to see you tackle the way you're doing. It's great to see you doing what you're doing out there. I tell you what, probably none more relieved than yourself to show us exactly what you're all made of. And we did know, Millie, we did know. I did reach out to you in between seasons and trying to pump you up. You knew exactly what you needed to do. And, well, mate, I couldn't be happier for you. Congratulations on your maiden victory and many more to come, Millie. Well done, mate. Great, great drive.
Cheers, brothers.
No dramas, mate. Well, Fury, well, a tough Grand Prix in very tricky conditions. Next week we are at Canada. Let's hope the sun is shining there for these lads. But there you go. Anything further to add, Fury, before we wrap it up, mate?
Mate, we've had 2 races and 2 wet affected sessions at each race. We had wet qualifying in France and then a dry race, and then we had a dry qualifying here and a wet race here. So I think I think all the boys will be praying to get the sun out in the high speeds of the Montreal circuit in Canada. So, mate, it was an interesting race. It's a tough circuit at the best of times. You add a little bit of weather. You know, the way the traction's kind of changed a little bit with the inertia kind of throwing cars off a little bit more than it was previously, and it makes it that much harder, especially if you don't do any running in the wet weather, in the wet. So we saw a lot of guys fall victim of that tonight, and I'm sure that they'll come back with a bit of a vengeance. But mate, a couple of big recovery drives from a couple of guys who, well, a lot of things went wrong for them, but they stuck it out and got to the end, and that's the main thing, especially when you can bring home that many points still at the end of the day. And the season moves on, and Canada will be, I'm sure, another interesting race.
Exactly right there, Fury. And another one to look forward to, of course. But I must say a very big thank you to you, Fury, as always, being there with me again. Much appreciated, my friend. But yes, we roll on to Canada, the 8th of August, folks. The next stream will be the UK boys, or the European boys. They do battle at 8 p.m. BST. Stay tuned for that one. And, well, from us, for now, we are Formula 4 Racing. Goodbye.